Hey ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about another game here. I've made a Quad Snorlax deck. Now Quad Snorlax is a lovely deck. You've got Snorlax, he sits there and stops people retreating, and he's got an attack which can hit for loads of energy, for loads of damage if you've got 5 energy. Now just to be clear, I haven't got 5 energy in here. I'm going to be attempting to poison my opponent until he dies, because he can't retreat out of it. And straight away, I see my opponent is playing Blastoise, which is really annoying to me. I swear, PTCGO does this to me. Snorlax has a couple of bona fide auto losses. One of them is Blastoise, and that's what I'm playing now. Blastoise plays Keldeo. Keldeo can just always rush in, get rid of the poison, and it can one-hit your Snorlaxes, so you're going to lose. And I lose the flip. Now, starting Lone Squirtle wouldn't have done much, but I could have tried to poison him. So my plan here is going to be using Hypnotoxic Laser and Shadow Triad to reuse it, and I think I've got 1 recycle in there, I should have more, just to continually poison them, and the plan is they will die of poison. They can't retreat out of it. Most decks play a couple of switches, but I've got more lasers than they've got switches, so what's going to happen is they're going to run out of switches, and I'm just going to laser them until they die of poison. You'll see I also drew my Rock Guard turn 1 there, so I'll put that onto Snorlax. If they hit me, they take 60 damage, and they're going to be taking 30 damage from poison. Now, I can afford to Juniper all of those things, there's nothing there I want. All I want here is a Laser Verbank, and I get neither of them. You'll also notice I play a bunch of hammers, because obviously I'm trying to stall them while they die of poison, and generally removing their energy is a good way to do that. I also run a few bicycles, just because I'm running 4 Snorlax, no energy. So I'm running loads of trainers. Bicycles help me get through the deck, because I want to have access to a Hypnotoxic Laser every single turn. If I don't hit heads on recycle, I've got access to 8 Hypnotoxic Lasers. If I do, I've got access to at least 9. But you'll see there, after going first, he also hits the turn 2 Blastoise, before I've even managed to poison him. It's a very, very bad start. But he hasn't got a Keldeo down yet. So I figure if he gets 1 down, I can capture and poison it. If he gets 2 down, I might be able to very, very slowly kill 1, and then catch up and kill the second. If he plays 3 Keldeo and manages to get all of them out, that is going to be very, very bad news for me. But he hasn't got any down yet. He's building up energy on that Blastoise, and he catches. And the reason he uses a catcher, of course, is because I've got Rock Guard on there. He doesn't want his Blastoise to take 60 damage. So I've got nothing here. So I need to get, and again, I play that just to waste a card. And I'm going to probably play a catcher here, yeah, just again, because I'm going to need that bicycle. I need the Laser Verbank this turn. Now, I played a Skylar, and even though I play 4 Laser and only 3 Verbank, I go for the Laser, because if nothing else, he hasn't got a Keldeo out yet, so I want to get the poison on. It does mean I can only bicycle for 1, hoping to hit the Verbank, and for some reason I actually do. So, again, I'm rocking here. He's poisoned. If he doesn't get a Keldeo down, I'm going to get a prize, I should say, coming into my turn, and then I can put the poison on next turn with another Skylar. And I won't be in a terrible position. Again, this Snorlax deck, it's kind of one-dimensional. He plays the Ultra Ball there, so you presume he's going to go for a Keldeo there. That's going to stop my prize, and it's going to make this deck a very, very tough one to beat. Now, Keldeo's got his Secret Sword ability. He's got his Russian ability. He rushes in. It means that he gets rid of the poison and the sleep if I've put it on him. So I'm only literally doing 30 damage, and it will never add up to more than 30 damage. And his attack does 50 plus 20 for each water energy. 4 water energy, 80 plus the 50. He's going to be one-hitting my Snorlaxes. Now, if he gets 2 Keldeo down, puts 4 energy on a Keldeo, I poison do 30, he rushes in with 1, rushes in with the other, and 1 hits. So he gets his Keldeo, he takes the poison off, but he doesn't manage to get any energy there. So I can just switch again, so that Rock Guard is back out there, and I manage to play a Laser. And that means that Keldeo is now taking 30 a turn, and that's really nice. He doesn't have the second Keldeo out, so that poison can now build up. If that Keldeo dies, then as soon as he gets a second one, I can capture and laser it, and job's a good one. Now he puts down his Tropical Beach there. Again, Tropical Beaches are all over PTCGO at the moment, and that's only a good thing. I don't want to play some rubbish pseudo Blastoise list. and he ends me, but the only cards I'm really going to need are Catcher and possibly a Verbank here. So I've still got the Verbank after the N, and that Shadow Triad card, it's one that's seeing a little bit of play as a one-off tech in Plasma. It's only really used in this Quad Snorlax deck, and what it does is it allows you to take a Team Plasma card out the discard, and here it's pretty much used because it means instead of 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers, I now have 8 Hypnotoxic Lasers, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is lovely. Now he uses an Ultra Ball there, he gets a Keldeo, but he doesn't play it down and he takes a needless extra 10 damage. It's only 10 damage, but 10 damage can make all the difference. Now the reason why I bench all of my Snorlaxes here is because I don't want to have to search for them later, and he can start one-hitting my Snorlaxes. And I don't want to get into a position where he's one-hitting them. Now here, I've still got a decent chance to win, so I Shadow Triad for the laser. I'm not going to use it this turn, but I want it. Even if he ends me, I'd rather have that laser in the deck than in the discard, and I've got no other supporter I need to use. He's poisoned, I've got a Verbank down, I've got an active Snorlax with Rock Guard. There's nothing else I need. Now I play those 2 Team Plasma Balls there, just because I want to thin the deck. I want to increase my odds of drawing good stuff if I get end. You'll see later on that's actually a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. It's a bad thing to do, and you'll see why later on. Now, I had good reasons for benching those Snorlax, but he Colrus's here. Now, had I not benched them, he gets 5. Benching them, he gets 7. I still contend that was the right thing to do, because if he gets 4 energy on a Keldeo, he can be one-hitting them, at which point I am going to be desperate to be getting more Snorlaxes out, so having them all in play becomes a good thing. Yes, I've got a Shadow Triad there, which I could use to grab a Snorlax from the discard or a Team Plasma Ball to get a Snorlax from the deck, but Shadow Triad isn't in there for Snorlax, Shadow Triad is in there for Laser. That's all I want with Shadow Triad, because every Shadow Triad I use to get a card other than Laser out of my discard is a Shadow Triad, is a Laser I'm not going to get. So there, again, I've got the Laser, so I can poison him, and he's got 2 Keldeo out. It's going to be slow going. I don't want to end him, because I want a Laser for next turn, so I use Shadow Triad to get the Laser out of the discard, because again, it's in my hand, and even if he ends me, it's in the deck. The good thing I love about Quad Snorlax is that there's a lot of room, 56 trainer cards, so I can afford to play 4 Laser, I can afford to play 4 Shadow Triad. I think I'm also playing 4 Random Receiver, 4 N, 4 Juniper, and 4 Bicycle. Lot of draw power in this deck. I'm playing Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers, which are no good in this matchup, but against things like Plasma can make all the difference. So he drops another Colrus there, which means he's now gained an extra 4 cards by virtue of me benching those extra 2 Snorlax. And this really, you're starting to see here why this is such a bad matchup for me. Now I play that Bicycle there, and I don't really know, again, that will turn out to be a mistake in the same way to Plasma. I'm using too many cards. I don't need to use them. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. There I needed my Verbank. I need my 3rd Verbank here. He's playing a lot of Tropical Beach here, which annoys me. So, I get another Heads on a Laser, and the reason I Juniper here is because I need that Verbank. I hit the Verbank off the Juniper, and again I'm doing 30 per turn. I'm also playing Max Potion in this deck, because if they can't one-hit my Snorlax, I think I'm playing 3 or 4 Max Potion plus my Recycle. So, if I'm playing against a deck that cannot get out of poison other than by switch, then I'm laughing here, because they're going to run out of switches eventually, and I've got my Max Potion so they can't one-hit me, I've got my Rock Guard to do extra damage. Against something like Plasma or Darkrai, this can be absolutely amazing. This has got some really, really good matchups. But as I started saying earlier, it's also a one-dimensional deck. All I'm doing is poisoning them and trying to lock them active. And when they've got something like 2 Keldeos rushing in and retreating, and you see that he's got 100 on, which is annoying, because he won't die if he hits me with Rock Guard, he'll only go on to 160. if you play against a deck like this, which has got options, there's just nothing you can really do. Now, I should have probably scooped this game. I was going to. I was tempted to record it and put it up just to show how bad it is, but it actually turns into a very interesting game. See, what you can see happening here is he's only got those 2 Caldeo out, and very, very slowly I'm starting to take one of his Caldeo down. Now, you'll see me checking my discard pile a lot here. I'm counting Shadow Triads, I'm counting lasers. I've only got 1 recycle in a deck. I believe when I made the deck, for some reason, I've only got 1 recycle online. And this is where my plan starts falling apart. He plays an Ultra Ball, and I'm assuming he's going, and there we go, for a 3rd Caldeo EX. Which is really bad news for me. Because now, even if I can manage to take down one of those Caldeos, he's still going to have the double Caldeo trick. But at this point, I notice his deck's getting quite thin, so my whole philosophy changes here. Now, I'm not going to ruin the end of this, but the reason this game has gone online is to basically show you that I'm adapting here. I cannot poison him to death. It's not going to work. I can still whiff poisoning, etc., but really here, I want to deck him out. So, I still don't regret playing the Bicycle and Juniper a couple of turns ago. I needed the Verbank, but I shouldn't have played those 2 Plasma Balls early on. Playing those 2 Plasma Balls early on, all it did was take 2 cards out of my deck, and that means that I'm going to be possibly running into problems here. Now, he's still not one-hitting me, and that's pretty good. Now, it is still worth playing the laser here, because I can still try and stall him a little bit. So, it's still worth playing. And I get an achievement there, Venomous. And I'll just double check. The Venomous achievement is for poisoning 5 opposing Pokemon in a single game. Apparently, I'd never done it before playing Quad Snorlax. That's my 5th laser I've played. Go Quad Snorlax. Quad Snorlax FTW. So, I play a Skylar there, because really I want my Verbank back. It's my only recycle. I hit the tails. I ain't having another Verbank. And certainly, you could make an argument here for playing a 4th Verbank. You don't usually need it, but then again, I say you don't usually need it. This is my very first game playing Quad Snorlax, and I need it, so maybe I'm lying. Either way, here my plan is, just don't play cards. Play the odd laser to try and kind of nick a prize card here or there, because that's actually going to, if I play a couple of lasers and get 2 prize cards, I've got the same number of cards in my deck. So I have a look through here, and I'm counting his ends, and I see 3 ends. Now, I would imagine he's not playing Dowser Machine. I'd imagine he's playing Computer Search, Stage 2 deck. And generally, Blastoise doesn't want to play too many ends, because in the late game, for Blastoise, end becomes very, very bad. Now, again, if I'm really decking him out here, an argument could be made that I've actually just wasted 2 cards where I shouldn't have. But I get another achievement, Sporific, because I've put a Pokemon asleep 5 times, which means I must be hitting pretty well on my laser flips. I think that must be 5 out of 6 lasers, which is pretty good if you think about it. But again, arguably I shouldn't have done that because that's taking 2 cards out of my deck. However, that laser there puts him in range, so if he now does 60 and knocks me out, then he's going to die, so I get 2 prizes. So I use 2 cards, but 2 cards go back into my deck. So I'm not harming my chances of decking out here. Lost 2 cards, got 2 cards. Now ideally, I'd be looking for something like a laser or a max potion here. I'm very much in stalling mode. I want to stop him taking prizes, because if I can stop him taking a prize, that's another turn where he's drawing a card, gets him a turn closer to decking out. For some reason it wouldn't let me take prizes, and it does, and I end up with 2 hammers. Now, I can look there, and he's low on cards, he's very low on cards, but I'm down to just 2 Snorlax, and if he plays just a single superior energy retrieval, and you better believe he's playing them, he's going to be one-hitting me. Luckily, I hit the revive, and I know that there's at least a Super Rod left in my deck, and I've got a Team Plasma Ball, and if I'm desperate, I've got at least 1 Shadow Triad left. So, I only need 1 more Snorlax, because if he knocks 4 out, he wins the game. So I'm pretty confident he's going to have to kill 4 Snorlax, and I'm very confident. I know here he's going to take out before me. So all I need to hope here is that he doesn't have another N. So he plays that superior energy retrieval. He's going to be able to put 4 energy on a Keldeo, and as I mentioned earlier, 4 energy on a Keldeo means he is going to be one-hitting me. So now there is a very, very sharp clock here. He's going to win in 3 turns from now. I believe he's got less cards than that. So it really comes down to whether he's got an N left. Now, if he plays a 4th N, it could still be prized. I don't believe he's actually played a 4th. I don't believe he's played an A-Spec trainer card here. So I might get lucky and he might not play a dowsing machine. Even if he does, it might be prized. I might get lucky. You never know. It's gonna be dodgy from here on in. So he gets to KO, I stick up a Snorlax, I check his deck, he's got 1 card left in his deck. So, if he plays an N next turn, he will win the game. If he doesn't play an N next turn, he's going to deck out, and somehow I'm going to have beaten a Blastoise deck with Quad Snorlax. And as I've explained throughout this game, this should be unwinnable. 2 Keldeo, 1 with 4 energy, I lose. There should be no way he wins that game. He struggled to get energy out, I can only really say here. That's my only real explanation for how he wasn't winning, because I just don't see how he's winning other than that. He shouldn't be losing this game. There's no way he should be. So I just pass. Oh, sorry, no. He knocks me out. He hasn't used an N, so I know I've won the game. I play a Shadow Triad just to get another Snorlax out to join the victory party, but somehow I've managed to win this game, and I honestly don't know how. It shouldn't have happened. Please comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe, I'll upload more videos.